Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Texas Motor Speedway for the 8th race in the 2022 NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series, gearing up for 101 laps of action here today. This is known to be one of those strategy races. If we can go from green from start to finish, Andrew Rich did that way back in 2018 for his second career win. He was one of a handful of drivers to stretch it on just a two-stop strategy. It's a strategy that gets more dangerous every year as the track shreds tires that little bit more. And Rich on pole for the first time this year. It's his 6th career pole, the 8th driver to reach such a mark. And I'm joined in the booth by my man, Vince Freeze.
Lone Star State, who's going to cowboy up today, we'll find out. Can Allison Rain start her reign of terror? She did that last year to win 3 in a row. Won last week, we'll find out. And does Andrew Rich get his season turned around, man? He's been having a struggle fest. Let's see if he gets it turned around today.
Yeah, Andrew Rich is on the pole, but he comes into this race. Let's see, can I spot him here real quick? He is 9th in the standings, 75 points out of the championship of Seth Cole. As we all know, Rich with the most career wins out of any driver, 15 career wins, but those 3 wins he got last year didn't start coming until the last 10 races of the season. We'll see if he can turn that around and get an early win in 2022 today. Rich is the only Dodge driver to ever win at this track out of 7 races in series history, 3 Chevy wins and 3 Ford wins spread out across the years. 2018 and 2020 both had races here twice. The season finale, in fact, being held here in both 2020 and 2019. Cole Deaver starts to Andrews outside. Deaver, we know, is still looking for that first points-paying win since Meadowlands dating back to 2019. He won one of the dual races at Daytona this season. Row 2, Peter Onjak finally backing up that practice speed we've seen out of him a lot this year, starting 3rd with James Ellison to his outside. Row 3 is one of the 2020 winners here, the finale race winner, Jesse Turner, in 5th with the Terminator, Charles Sanford, to his outside. Charles winning here back in the fall 2018 race. Row 4 is Allison Rain with Nico Tringali, neither driver having won here in their career. And in row 5, Nate Rogers and RJ Bishop. We'll go through the rest of the starting order here after the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
While I go through the rest of the starting order, I'm going to hand it over to Vince, who has our did not qualify list for this race.
Yep, we got Blaine Saylor, Jack Colton, Trey Smith, Christian Russell, Scott Roush, Mason Dagger, Lane Sanders, Reggie Fogelman, Lord Chung, and Brent James. And might as well go over the past winners. We got 2017, Jay Barker in the Ford. 2018, the pole sitter Andrew Rich in the Dodge. 2018 as well as second race, Charles Sanford in the Chevy. 2019, John Art, Chevy. 2020, we had a double, Sam and Oscar in the Ford, the spring race. And 2020, Jesse Turner, he won the fall race, the finale. And last year's defending winner is Zachary Fitzwater in the Chevy. Can he make it back-to-back here in the Lone Star State? We'll find out.
And out of those 7 winners, Vince, 5 of them in the field. Jay Barker, of course, was his only career win back in 2017, the only season he ran in the series. And John Arndt, of course, won in what was, if memory serves me, I believe it was his final race. He did not continue racing after 2019. Seth Cole down in the dumps, the points leader after being wrecked out at Denver, starting 32nd here today. But Andrew Rich will lead him to the green flag with Cole Deaver to his outside, and we are green flag racing. Rich and Onjak looking to both clear Deaver in the turn 1, and they will do just that. Nico Tringali, the first to jump from the outside line down to the inside. You'll see speeds of about 175 on fresh tires through 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. It should be about 5 to 10 miles an hour slower than that. As Rich leads the first lap of the race, expect the outside line to get really tight coming out of turn 4 as the run progresses, actually all the way down to 160 through turns 1 and 2. But Vince tire wear here is known to be very heavy. We'll see anywhere from 3 to 5 seconds of tire wear, fall off, especially if you stretch it past 33 laps on a run. The window here is known to be quite wide. Drivers pitting as early as lap 31 with the capability of stretching it as far as 35 laps if they can get it done. We've seen drivers do that in the past, and sometimes the race stays green, other times the caution comes out and strategy is foiled.
I'm already noticing James Ellison is starting to hold the second pack up as Rogers has broken free. And there we go.
James Ellison holding the pack up as Stephen Colon is looking to get inside the top 10. Dylan Young right on his back bumper, but as you mentioned, Vince, the 24 of Ellison going backwards as here comes defending race winner Fitzwater on that inside line. But looking at who we got in the top 10, battle for 7th between Allison Rain, last week's winner at Denver, and Nate Rogers. Jesse Turner and Peter Onjak so far doing a good job holding their own here at the front. But now you see Deaver putting Onjak to the outside, looking for second place.
Yeah, those fresh tires, but you just see Peter Onjak lose a ton of outside grip on the exit of 4. I think the Terminator will get underneath him for 4th.
Deaver with a bumper full of Nico Tringali, who has shown some speed at some of the intermediates this season, not limited to, but including Atlanta and Auto Club. Tringali, though, hasn't really shown that speed since Auto Club. And now he is being passed by Charles Sanford for 3rd, and Sanford will likely be looking to the inside of Cole Deaver here in a moment, as Allison Rain could be looking to be the first driver to win back-to-back races this season. It's been a pretty spread out season of winners so far, Seth Cole being the only driver with 2 wins on the year, but nobody has been able to go back-to-back. And Rain did just end Chevy's 5-race win streak last week at Denver.
Old Deaver's starting to slip up now. These tires are starting to wear. But, I think Charles Sanders is a great guy to track down Andrew Rich. The Terminator knows what he's doing. He's a veteran. And actually, now that I think about Peter Onjak is really starting to fall back. And Dylan Young's catching up that first to second pack deal.
We see Turner and Onjak both starting to fade. 2 drivers that came into the Cup Series in the same year back in 2020. Currently running top 10, Vince, but for how long is the question, as Dylan Young up to 9th and Fitzwater in 10th. As shockingly, it's Diego Yepes running in 11th place right now. Let's go through the field here as it's early in the run. Jessica Shelton up to 12th. She started further back to the mid-pack. Kev Shearer 13th. Keith Rich just into 14th. 15th, Alex Ferranti. Christian Vargas, Priya McShane, good run so far. How about Bradley Ream, currently in the top 20? I believe he started in 27th. Audra Baranowskis to his inside. Owen Miles in the top 20 right now. William Brock 21st. RJ Bishop has plummeted to 22nd. Samet Oskin is struggling right now. He is in 23rd, the 2020 winner. That was his only race win of the season in which he won the championship. Alexander Rowe down in the dumps here in the mid-pack as well, to the inside of Amanda Evans. That is for 24th. Sorlin has fallen all the way to 27th. Quinton Moore down here as well. As Seth Cole appears to have maybe fallen backwards, he is starting to work his way forward. He's up to 33rd, started 32nd. Meanwhile, Stephen Colon and James Ellison, who were in the top 10 just about 7 laps ago or so, have fallen all the way to the back of the field. Meanwhile, Vince at the front, it is a bumper-to-bumper battle. Andrew Rich in the lead. You see Nate Rogers has faded a ways back there in 5th. As look at that, Sanford trying to throw the block on Tringali. Tringali checks up, Sanford gives him the lane, but Sanford should get the run here off of turn 2. But it is currently a 4-car breakaway, a Dodge to 2 Chevys and a Ford.
Interesting little pat. We got 2 winners. As you see, Charles Sanford has the fastest lap, which doesn't really mean anything. Needs to be consistently fast. 1 lap pace doesn't matter here. We got 2 winners though. We got Sanford. He took care of business at Miller, and last week's winner Rain in Denver. And Tringali and Rich are really hungry for something. We'll find out who's got the best edge grip though as this run goes on.
Falloff has already reached the second, about a third of the way through the run. So you know the comers and goers are really going to start to amplify. This track has, in a way, become similar to Darlington in the sense of how it shreds your tires. Atlanta is also in the similar fashion, except this track, you know, turns 1 and 2, you can kind of get the outside to work for the fence as Sanford just about wrecks himself off Tringale's nose a second lap in a row. But 1 and 2, you can really get that run to work off of turn 2. But in 3 and 4, it is bottom line all the way around, especially once you get to the quad oval. We've seen people get really tight on the outside of somebody going through the quad oval, and people can really check up at times on that outside lane.
Tell you what, Diego Yepes is really starting to make inroads on that top 5. He seems like to be one of the surprise shockers.
That is surprising that you mentioned that. I did not see that. Dylan Young up to 6th. Yepes up to 7th. Even Jessica Shelton has made it all the way up to 8th. Fitzwater in 9th, but he's been passed by the 2 in front of him as Kev Shear sits inside the top 10. Surprisingly, Cole Deaver has fallen down to 12th. As we mentioned, comers and goers. Samet Oskin just getting by Baranowskis for 16th, but there you can see how the 1 has to check up on the outside right there. Look at that. Just kind of gets a little tight up against the wall going into the quad oval, and it will really cost you positions here on this outside line. But currently, yeah, like Oskin and others moving forward. Oskin now looking for 15th on Priya McShane. And now Charles Sanford. Sanford halfway through the run, looking for the race lead on Andrew Rich. How far will he fall? He'll lose the lead, he'll lose 2nd, and he'll lose 3rd. And that will, with the gap back to Nate, will allow him to get back to the bottom in line for 4th place. Looking through the rest of the standing pylon here, Rowe up to 23rd. Vargas has fallen to 24th. Sorlin still 26th. Seth Cole has cracked the top 30. And Ellison is now officially in 42nd place.
Like Dylan Young's underneath for 5th on Rogers, I believe. Just saw that in the corner of my peripheral vision there.
So Vince, we saw, yes indeed, the 9 falling back on the outside now as Tringali will look for the lead again, but can't quite get it to the inside of Sanford. Looked at tire fall off on lap 11. It was the 2nd from Fast Times. Now another 6/10 off 6 laps later. So these drivers losing about a 10th a lap. They could start hitting a bigger cliff. As you look at the speed through 3 and 4, Vince, at a low point there, about 161. On fresh tires, they were going 175. Let's see the difference in turns 1 and 2. On fresh tires, it was about 162. As Tringali will finally make the dive work, this time down to 152 now in turns 1 and 2.
You gotta think these people here in this pack are starting to overcook the tires. Even though Andrew Rich had that clean air, now he's in dirty air. Does that help him? In a way, you could save a little tire with the draft. It's not big like a truck series, which we're not here this weekend, but it does play a small role. As you see Dylan Young starting to close the gap between 4th and 5th.
This was one of the tracks that was cut from the Jerky Pro Truck Series schedule. Gave them a pretty good show past few years, but not in the cards for the series this year, but could likely be one of those intermediates we see Truck Series cycle to and from, as the Truck Series schedule has really been shrunk in the past few years. 2020, of course, a 27 race schedule, down to 21 in 2021 and down to 18 races this year, likely to be cut just a little bit more for 2023 if we are to have a season next year. You see, Vince, just Charles seems to be running that slightly higher groove in turn 2 to just good enough to fend off Tringali. Rain has been going nowhere. She's just staying in 3rd. I don't know if she has the speed to make a move or if she's just biding her time. But as you see, Rich fell to 4th. He has not been keeping up with those top 3. And now Dylan Young is on his back bumper for 4th place.
I'm just surprised, man. This ain't the Andrew Rich dominating of old. Oh, we got a problem?
Nope, no problems. I was just checking.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, not the domination of old, but who knows? We do know undercut could be powerful here. And I just can't help but think of the wrecks we had. I believe it was last season on old tires, just that speed difference. That could be something we see in the last run as you see Allison Rain heating up that back bunker of Tringali for 2nd.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, what we've usually seen in the past here at this racetrack is people will start pitting lap 31, lap 32, and then a couple more on lap 33. We might see 1 or 2 people stretch it to lap 34, pitting to 35. And then once we get to the second round of pit stops, that's when we really start to see the strategy develop. And we'll see people pit as early as 62, all the way as late as about 66, 67, which if you can make it to that lap is usually when you're good to make it to the end. But we have a 3-wide situation here for 5th between Shelton, Yepes, and Rich. Rich is going to fall all the way down to 8th. Yepes is going to fall down with him. As now you see Kev Shearer right there in 9th. But Shelton goes up to 5th. Fitzy up to 6th. As Samet Oskin is past Nate Rogers to get inside the top 10. Vince, this man about 12 laps ago was not even inside the top 20.
Silky smooth on those tires, baby. That's what it's all about for Samet Oskin. He knows how to stay cool, and you see Jesse Turner, he's starting to fall. Peter Onjak.
Bit of a surprise, actually, Vince. So despite the margin, he's fallen about 2 seconds off of 11th now, but he has been holding on to 12th. McShane has made it a bit ways forward here in 14th. Same with Brock up to 15th. We can see Rowe has started moving forward up to 18th. Onjak has been the one to fall some more, as has Deaver. Sorlin, though, has still not really gone anywhere. He's in 25th, and Seth Cole on his bumper in 26th. So they've got their work cut out for them. See Ellison no longer in 42nd. That right belongs to Stephen Colon. Lap 24, 2.5 seconds of fall off in effect. But Vince, you know, while it's good to see Charles Sanford leading right now, you don't get bonuses for leading laps like you did a couple of years ago. And, you know, with what we saw with Chicagoland in the finale last year, you know, strategy, if this race goes green, you have to have the right strategy. And despite, you know, clear skies, that's you know, cloudy weather, usually we see these guys going a little faster, burning a little bit more fuel up. Clear skies is going to help these guys make it as far as they can, but when you're leading the draft, you still end up using the most fuel.
Yeah, we're only running one seam. We're not going in the second high or third lane. Tires relatively are going to wear out quicker in that bottom lane where all the grip's at. But just interested to see how Tringali, where you see a little flyby shot there, Dylan Young starting to make inroads. I really want to say Tringali actually has the best car in 1 and 2, but Sanford knows how to push up in 3 and 4. Just not a block the airs. Now we're starting Constantine up a little bit. There's a battle back there. Oskin's on the back, Kev Shear. Here we go.
Seeing that Dylan Young, Fitzwater, Yepes, all faster than the race leader that time by. Even Samet Oskin, a 31.9 to the leader's 32.18 last time by. Samet Oskin might just have something for these guys, Vincent. He's been in draft this entire run, so I'd say expect the driver up to 22 to stretch it as far as he can. I see right now really getting bogged up with this tire wear, making it difficult to create runs. We see Rich, the pole sitter, falling down to 8th now. As Rain is on the outside of Tringali for some reason. That's going to make her really tight off of turn 4. That's going to let Dylan Young catch right on up.
What Dylan Young needs is Tringali goes low, a little too low. I think Sanford's just doing a good job controlling the pace. Sometimes you don't want to make that breakaway, man. A place where tire wear is high, stay that stable pace, keep running your 31.9s, 32.6s by the end of the run, I'm going to guess. And that's a good 7/10 fall, but it's better than a second or two when burning early.
You see Oskin still right on the bumper of Kev Shearer. Nate Rogers is the last one clinging to this lead pack. And then a huge drop to 12th place, which I believe just got transferred over to Alexander Rowe. Let's see if the ticker updates to reflect that, and that is indeed the case. McShane held the position, but now loses it. And Owen Miles up to 13th, Vince. I'm surprised he has managed to get that high up in the running order.
I think Dylan Young might be stuck on this outside, but he'll get adjusted down in time.
I believe Kev Shearer was looking for 8th on Andrew Rich in turn 1. He stays to the inside here through the quad oval, and that'll drop the 23 to 10th. Right now, I'd say the one thing hurting Samet Oskin, I believe Oskin has the fastest car on track. Doesn't reflect that on the fastest lap board because of where he qualified. See 28th right now, but I'd watch out for him once he gets fresh tires and gets in some clean air. We're really going to be able to see who has the car to beat today. Lap 31 of the race, Austin to the inside of Kev. This will be for 8th place. Now Dylan Young has lost 4th to Shelton, and Fitzwater is going to go on by for 5th.
That's what Oscar needs right there. If your Pez keeps battling Young, little side draft, that's what they need. The second pack is the leads heating up.
I gotta say, Vince, I'm really impressed by the speed both the 02 of Shelton and the 18 of Yepes have showed so far in this race. We'll have to see if strategy keeps that up today. As here come the first round of pit stops on lap 32 as Tringali stays out. It'll be Charles Sanford, Allison Rain, and Jessica Shelton first ones into the pit road. As actually last time by, RJ Bishop came in, Andrew Rich and Nate Rogers coming in as well. So that'll cycle the lead over to the 7. So they made it a lap further compared to last year, I believe. Last year, I believe it was lap 31. This year, lap 32. So not a lot of drivers pitting in that first group. We'll have to wait and see how many pit to be exact. But Tringali will come in this time by. Young, Yepes, Fitzwater, Oskin, all in. Kev Shearer will stay out. So he was the last of that front-running group to stay out, Vince. And right now, I believe, unless those drivers that just pit can stretch it to lap 67, I would say Kev Shearer has the best chance of making this a 2-stop race for his team.
Yeah, that matters. Audrey's staying out. The champ, Sorlin, he's out there still, looks like.
Yep, Baranowska staying out as well. Kev Shearer will bring it onto the pit lane this time by. Sorlin, as you mentioned, staying out. Jesse Turner, Keith Rich, Amanda Evans, Colt Hudson, and that was it for the drivers that stayed on the racetrack to lap 34. Another thing to watch out for is this pit road can be tight as we have a caution, Vince.
Oh, boy.
Caution is out. Oh, and it involves the 24 of James Ellison. And he blew up, Vince. He blew up and he got run over, I want to say. Oh, don't turn back up the track.
What? Oh, my goodness. They were clear.
Get back down to the apron here. But that throws a wrench right at the end of the pit cycle. And it's going to be an interesting caution period. Vince, let's quickly take a look at what happened to James Ellison. Taking a look at what brought out the caution. Ellison merging back on the racetrack. Should be right about here. Yep, there it goes. Right in front of Owen Miles. Miles cannot see a thing. And he's just going to run right into him. Oh, tried hitting the brakes there, but just can't do it in the oil track.
Hard to contact, too.
Oh, yeah. Miles is going to get into the outside wall, and Ellison actually clips him again, but Miles will save it. But Ellison's car stays off the wall, and nobody else hit him. So very fortunate there. Could have been a lot worse. We've seen accidents happen before from drivers coming out of the pits. So very fortunate that Ellison was not hit by anyone here. You see Cologne was the last driver for about from the back straightaway on. So very fortunate, but the running order has been scrambled. Let's see what we've got here on this restart. After an extended caution period, we are ready to go back racing. We will have 62 laps of action remaining. Kev Shearer is your race leader, as he had not taken the yellow flag while he was on pit road, so he was allowed to go back around the pace car. A lot of drivers had to be waved around. Everybody else that you see on the inside line is unfortunately a lap down due to where they came out of pit road. Regardless, Jessica Shelton in second, Nico Tringali third, Charles Sanford fourth, Dylan Young fifth, Fitzwater sixth, Oskin seventh, Rowe eighth, McIntyre ninth, and Ferranti the top 10. As Seth Cole stuck a lap down, and Nate Rogers, who was having a decent day, also a lap down. Ellison, the only driver out of the race, and Logan York had an extended repair on pit road. He is 2 laps down. And Vince, we had some people pit under caution, some of which were on the lead lap, some of which were not. I believe some of those drivers were Andrew Rich, Allison Rain, and a couple of others here at the back. Some taking fuel, some taking right side tires. So the strategy game is all jumbled up. The only thing I know for certain is that Kev Shearer's got the freshest tires out of those at the front. I believe we saw Amanda Evans stay out. Baranowskis had stayed out and pit with him. Among a few others that are slipping my mind. But yeah, Vince, I mean, just look at this. Second place, Jessica Shelton can't even clear those two are inside because of the tire difference. So Kev Shearer with an easy lead right now, but we've still got a pit stop and we've still got strategy playing going on. I'd say it's definitely looking a lot more likely that everyone can make it with one more pit stop, Vince, but we could have another James Ellison type incident occurring, because those types of incidents have happened here before at Texas, where, you know, pit cycles in the midst of happening or at the end of happening, and someone gets dumped going into turn 3.
Hey, Kev Shearer's not out of the fastest car, though. It's definitely Seth Cole right now. Even though they're a lap down Rogers, this could be big. If they get a caution right away, might be back in it.
Yeah, well, there's definitely, you know, a restart after everybody has just pit. Not everyone, it's not like everyone's got super worn tires, but you can definitely see the difference. And don't forget, Kev Shearer was at the back of that top 10 group, so not really sure if he had the fastest car to contend with for a win or not, but you can see him falling down the running order right now. Second place is currently the 7 of Tringali, with Shelton in third. Fourth is Alexander Rowe now. See, Ferranti has benefited big from this. Sorlin even in 10th. He was one of those guys who had stayed out. Quentin Moore, I want to say, was one of them too. I can't really remember. But yep, Dylan Young getting really tight there on the outside groove. But yeah, this caution period, man. If you ever wanted me to tell you what race had a yellow that just shuffled the field, I think this would be it. As Tringali is starting to close the gap now to Kev Shearer, who is stuck on the outside of some drivers, and Tringali is all over Henry Sanford.
Yeah, Sanford, that rookie, just doesn't have the experience. Now Kev Shearer's going to be stuck. He's going to lose a lot of momentum here. Does Bradley even get to the inside? Yep.
Going to see if any fast laps have updated. Don't really see anything new here at the top of the board. Mainly because, you know, that caution came out right in the midst of it. Seth Cole, who started 32nd, is 6th on the chart now. I believe that might be the main update worth noting. But Seth Cole, Nate Rogers, RJ Bishop, they have all unlapped themselves for now. And yeah, they need that yellow. You see Cole and Nate are driving away, and I think that is the tire difference, because I want to say these two pit under the yellow and took right side tires after having pit under green. So they got that little extra something, Vince. But they are certainly pulling away. They are 0.6 quicker than the leader.
We got a log jam there. There's a move by Shelton. Got to make a move to get second now, because Brigali is getting frustrated behind Sanford.
This Deaver, you know, a lap down after starting in second place. Not his day at all. See Charles Sanford trying to stay in the top 10. He is in 10th place right now. How about Zach Flickinger, this yellow, really helping him out. He's up to 8th. As we mentioned, Ferranti up to 6th. And we had seen Alexander Rowe climb up to 12th right before the pit cycle started. So Rowe, of course, benefiting big. Currently in 4th place. But Vince, you know, I thought I knew who had a really good chance at winning the race on speed, that being the 03, the 7, or the 10. This caution just kind of threw that all away, except for the 7, to be honest. The 10 is now at the back after she pit under that yellow. She is 23rd. Sanford, of course, in 11th now, as Quentin Morris passed him for 10th, and Tringali's the only one up here looking to hunt down race leader Kev Shearer. But these lappers appear to have slightly fresher tires than the lead lap cars, and I think it's mainly the skill difference right now that is letting Tringali get by some of these drivers.
I wouldn't count on Semenowski. Yeah, he seemed to have one of those fast cars in the back half of that top 10. Now, what does Tringali do? Got a little run here. Does he be patient? He really hasn't been behind Kev Shears. This is the first official lap. Does he know his weaknesses? Does he know his strengths? I think he'll figure it out here this lap and then try to make a move next lap around 3 and 4.
Well, we're a third of the way into the green flag portion of this run, but a lot of people pit already now 13 to 16 laps ago. I definitely think with that caution period that everyone should be able to make it on one more pit stop. I want to say we shouldn't expect that pit window to open up until lap 66, Vince. But who knows? These guys might have done. Some of these guys might have done a terrible job saving on their yellow, for all I know. But they got that extra pace lap, so that is something to keep mind of as far as the fuel strategy goes from here on out. As we see Tringali take the lead, Henry Sanford gonna hold off Kev Shearer. Shelton still in third. She is not closing on Tringali at all, though. Tringali a 30.5 that time by. Alexander Rowe putting pressure on lap down car Ace Rogers. As you mentioned, Vince Oskin in fifth, but he seems to be on older tires than some of the people behind him right now, namely Jonathan Zorlin, who's in eighth. As Charles Sanford has disappeared.
There he is.
There he is in 17th now. I think that's the tire difference talking to. Remember, he was one of the first ones to pit. Amanda Evans we saw stay out to the end there. She is only running 16th. Baranowskis only 19th. Yepes, man, his day was going so well. He's currently in 20th. There's Rain up to 21st. Andrew Rich, 23rd. As we look at the back of the field. There you see Seth Cole, 30.7, Nate, 30.76. So these two are drafting together. As the 19 just had a brake failure. Where is he? Oh, this is a big mess. So he gets to the apron, but they are 3 wide and stacked up big time. Now, Brock was running in 14th place. He will get back to the pit lane, so no caution flag will occur. But I wanted to bring up, you know, Seth and Nate. Seth is starting to inch away from Nate, and I want to say it's mainly just the draft keeping Nate here with him. But they are going faster than the 7 of Tringali, as Tringali will relap RJ Bishop. So Bishop was able to be on the lead lap there, Vince, for about half the run, but just couldn't hold on compared to the 7. But I would definitely say 07 and 9, they need a yellow here. They almost got it, and I think RJ Bishop would have benefited from that as well, as William Brock will return to the racetrack, now with 4 fresh tires, about 20 laps newer than those around him.
Oh, boy.
And he is going to come out, I think, right in front of the race leader here, if not right behind him, as Tringali now has a 2-second lead back to Kev Shearer, who was under fire from Alexander Rowe. And there you see Rowe taking away second as Sorlin has sprouted up to the top 5. And he will take third away from Kev. And Brock will get out right behind the race leader.
Talk about throwing, man. He was running the 20th all day, 25th, 27th. That's how you make lemons into lemonade, my friend.
Just stayed out as long as possible and got that yellow. I think the crew chief of the 5 was looking at that trend. As you see, Shelton has now dropped a little bit down to 6th. Ferranti still in the top 10 and 7th. Morgan 8th. Fitzwater 9th. Oskin has fallen down to 10th. I think it's really just the tire we're talking, Vince. You see Zach Flickinger move up to 4th, or 3rd rather now. And Sorlin up to 2nd. And I think these guys just, you know, on the same strategy as Kev Shearer was, but they are just a little more experienced and maybe a little bit better setup to make use of those tires. But Zorlin that time by a 31.4 to his teammates' 31.4. So they are running the same laps there. As you see, Brock got one of his laps back. So the driver of the 19 now just 1 lap down and flying on fresh tires. And look at this. He's already going 10 miles an hour faster than the 07 and the 9 here off of turn 4. This is
Look
what
at that.
gets scary here is you got one driver out here with 20 lap fresher tires throwing it into the inside of others. Thankfully, once he gets by Seth here, it should clear out. And then these leaders should start pitting here within the next 5 laps or so. And then it's a question of Vince, oh, do we go green from there? Do we have another mid-cycle, end-of-cycle incident?
We'll see who throws the book at the overcut strategy. And Rain and Rich, they topped off. I mean, they're definitely, if they topped off correctly, they should be able to make it. Well, I don't think anyone miscalculated, like you said. This should be the money stop, but we'll see.
Rain in 18th. But while they did top off, Rain and Rich didn't take tires to my knowledge that I saw. I know Rich didn't. I definitely saw him go fuel only, and I think the 10 did as well. You see Rich, a 4-second difference to the 10 on track for that strategy. But honestly, you know, Rain, you know, she's 8 seconds back to the race leader, Tringali, almost 9 seconds back, actually. But for that strategy to work, she needs to see the 7 pit here either this time by or next time by, because otherwise I think he will make it to the end of the race on this next stop. If he pits 65, come into 66, that would be a little stretch, 36 laps on a tank, but 35 laps, I believe, is definitely stretchable.
We're starting to close that gap a little bit, man. And we might have a battle of the do-it-right schemes.
See Quentin Moore losing some spots down to 9th. Jesse Turner, 12th still. Remember, he was just inside the top 15. Onjak has benefited from this a little bit. He was down near 20th before the cycle began. He has bounced back up to 13th. See, Yepes 17th. Charles Sanford 16th, man. Really down in the dumps. Sorlin's going to get by RJ here. No signs of any pitters yet, Vince. I really want to say everyone is good to make it here because of that extended caution period. So it's really going to just come down to when you pit. I think right now it's looking like a battle between the Hendrick drivers of Tringali and Zorlin. Zach Flickinger's got some speed, but Rowe is another near 2 seconds behind him for 3rd. So when you pit here is going to be the big key. So you see Tringali stays out another lap. Yeah, these guys are definitely good. One more pit stop is going to be the way, and I think, you know, the yellow really made that a possibility for everybody. But not a bad call by Rain and a couple of others that were there that got waved around to pit on their yellow and top off just in case. But really, they probably should have taken tires when they did so. Yeah, they'd probably be up in the top 10 right now if they had.
I agree, and I think this is where saving those tires, maybe Zorlin was holding back a little bit as he is starting to eke into this lead at the end of this run. You know, it's funny, man. Oscar, we talked about him being now Andrex in the top 10. You see guys that are starting to resurrect their races here. Definitely coming to play.
And just think, oh, here we go.
Ooh.
Rich, McIntyre, McShane, Rain, Shelton, Charles Sanford, Quentin Moore. They are all pitting. They're the first ones down. Nate Rogers will pit. Tringali's going to pit. Sorlin will stay out.
Bart. Do it the opposite of your old teammate there and see what happens.
So we saw Shelton was down. Sanford was down. Quentin Moore, I think, was the highest out of the drivers who pit, I want to say. We'll see how much that undercut works against the 5 of Zorlin here, who has stayed out a little bit. Will the 5 pit this time by? Yes, he will. RJ Bishop will stay out. That'll put him back on the lead lap. Same with Henry Sanford. As Kev Shearer, remember, he had stretched it the longest before. Not much of a surprise that he is going to do it again.
Looking for that timely caution part, too. We'll find out.
Looks like Peter Onjak, Colt Hudson have elected to stay on track. I believe Amanda Evans and Baran-Auskas once again have stayed out. Remember, though, that caution really only came out because Ellison blew up in front of Owen Miles. And Kev will pit this time by. Onjak will pit. Hudson's going to stay out.
You got nothing to lose. You're not going to win the race regularly. That's the scary part, though.
That's where it gets a little freaky.
And what else coming behind, we'll find out. I don't think so.
Kev Shear, yep. Hudson was the last one to stay out. Kev, Peter, Amanda, Baranowskis, they all went down pit lane.
Oh,
Here it
he
is.
held a little bit.
Hudson will pit. Now the question is Tringali the leader for pitting before Zorlin?
I think so.
I also forgot, Vince, for a quick second there, that the caution lights here are in the fences, so if we had a caution, it would be very easy to tell.
Thank God for Texas Motor Speedway doing that. Major shout out to them.
The last few stops there. Drivers coming out of their stalls. It's going to be a 30 to 33 lap run for drivers here on these last set of tires. So you see Tringali in the lead, Shelton in second, 2 seconds back. Fitzwater a lap down. Zach Flickinger in third. Brock, remember, had that brake issue. He is out here on really old tires. He is probably going to have to pit at some point, so he's going to be a rolling roadblock for the time being. That's also scary. So there's Sorlin in 5th place. He's I believe, the best chance at catching Tringali there, but he wasn't right on his bumper when the cycle began, so that's something interesting to note. See Charles Sanford back in the top 10 from the undercut. He's in 8th. Actually make it 7th. Oskin 9th. Rain in 10th. Andrew Rich 14th. There's Kev. Stayed out really long time. He's in 15th with the freshest tires on track right now. We'll see how far he can climb. He is currently 12 seconds behind race leader Tringali, so I don't think he has a chance to win. And there you see Onjak just getting into 20th. And there's Colt Hudson 25th. We'll see how far he moves up from this position. You see Nate Rogers, Seth Cole are still just holding on to the lead lap. But they didn't gain any positions during that cycle. So Tringali leads it, Vince. Let's see. We've gone a few laps. Fastest lap belongs to Roy Ribbleton in the 43. See Sebastian Kugelon up there. Christian Vargas, Jessica Shelton. Henry Sanford, Samet Oskin, as expected, top 10. So everyone was really able to get their laps in here. You see Tringali 12th on this list. Zorlin, not sure if he just got stuck in traffic again, but only a 29.6 for Zorlin. But maybe you were right, Vince, about that whole saving tires thing.
Yeah, and I think it's important. Now Zorlin's starting to pick up the pace. You can't really do that here. You got to go full blast when we get like 10 to go, but it definitely means a lot. Now Fitzwater, what a shock this is going to be.
This is interesting. So Fitzwater is a lap down, but he is running about 2 to 3 tenths faster than the leader a lap. And he's effectively pulling Shelton and Flickinger with him. Now, here's something interesting to note with what'll be 25 to go next time by. Zorlin is not closing that much right now. Zach Flickinger's last win in the Cup Series came back at Dover in 2018. And Shelton, her only Cup win, comes in the 2020 Daytona 500. And she came close at Denver a year ago, Vince. And that was against Fitzwater. Now, is Fitzwater going to be her pole here? Now, Shelton did fight it out with Zach Flickinger, Levi McIntyre, and Alexander Rowe. Actually, no, was it Zach Flickinger? I want to say it was, unless I'm remembering incorrectly. But Zach will pass her for second, so I think Zach a little better here on the tires compared to the 02. And you see Zorlin is not running faster laps than the 96, Vince.
He doesn't have to, though. I believe it or not. This is a good time. You don't want to grain the tires right away on this up-to-speed run, as I call it. And he's banking on Fitzwater to mess around with Tringali, and you can see it for sure. It's coming.
Both the 96 and the 02 continue to close the gap to the leader. Zorlin closing as well, not as quickly though. So Kev Shear up to 11th. Onjak all the way back up to 16th. What a wacky race. It's been so wacky that we haven't even really had time to talk about the point standings coming into this thing. Coming in, Seth Cole with a 3-point lead over Zorlin. That is going to go out the window as Seth Cole got screwed by the strategy game. Tringali, though, came in 32 points back. He's looking really good right now. 38 back, Charles Sanford. 39 back, Nate Rogers. 46 back, Fitzwater. 56 back, Alexander Rowe. 66, Shelton. 75, Andrew Rich. And 79, Allison Rain. 21 laps to go. Fitzwater on the back bumper of Tringali as the lead has stabilized back to Zach Flickinger, and Zorlin even lost some time to the leader that time by.
Might have grained it now. This is where Zorlin will start to think that Fitzwater checks up Tringali in 3 and 4 at the exit in the quad oval. That could be big. He's going to send it in there. This could be big for that chasing pack. We'll find out.
How much? Watch the speed at the top of the screen. Gets a little tight there. No tightness there, though.
Did a good job backing away, that's for sure.
Still going to lose 0.3 of a second to the 96. That time by, though, out of the 4 cars behind him, Zach Flickinger was the fastest by a couple hundredths.
Now Tringali's in that Fitzwater draft. Now that's a good move if you're Tringali. Stay in that draft. Don't try to make a stupid move. And then play that tire game. Don't overcook the tires as well. Stay in that same pace you've been doing. I think Zorlin's going to overpush these tires. He's going to have to start going with 15 to go.
See, William Brock has still yet to pit. He is falling towards these leaders.
Oh, boy.
And he is running a lot faster. Actually, I think he's pitting this time by because the 9 just went around him to the outside, and that is indeed the case. Owen Miles has fallen way down to 40th. Looking at the standing board here. Let's see, Amanda Evans is still only 24th despite her fresher tires. Colt Hudson, 23rd. Vargas with a bit of a rebound to 19th. He was in the top 15 at one point, then fell outside. Actually, he is going down. He is in 20th that time by. Onjak still just 16th place. Kev Shearer has bounced into the top 10. So as William Brock has pit, the lead is stable at about 0.9 of a second. Let's actually go through the field here, Vince.
All right.
Tringali in the lead here at what is 17 laps to go. Zach Flickinger in 2nd. Jessica Shelton 3rd. Zorlin is 4th. Oskin 5th. Rowe 6th. Charles Sanford is in 7th. Quite the rebound for him. Quinton Moore 8th. Allison Rain 9th. Kev Shear 10th. Dylan Young is in 11th. There's William Brock. He's going to be a big wild card taking those 4 tires here at the end of this thing. Jesse Turner 12th. Diego Yepes decent rebound to 13th. He's been fast all day as well. Onjak will floor it up to 14th place, getting by Keith Rich. Battle is on between him and Ferranti for 15th place. Andrew Rich in 17th. Priya McShane in 18th, trying to fend off Kukulon for that position. Christian Vargas in 20th place. McIntyre 21st. Rippleton 22nd. Hudson 23rd. Amanda Evans 24th. Baranowskis 25th. Vince Freeze 26th. Adam Flickinger will pass Stephen Colon for 27th. With Nate Rogers 28th, Seth Cole 30th, and Fitzwater in 31st place. And while we went through the field, Vince Tringali has started to pull it back away from Zach Flickinger, seeing that lead back up to 1.18 seconds. As now Shelton is taking that position back from the 96, now 1.5 gap to Nico Tringali, and you got to wonder, was Shelton saving her stuff by letting the 96 go by?
Now Zorlin just needed that. He just got a little sniff of that draft, just a little sniff. And now he'll start closing in with Oskin, just barely.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Sorlin's gap to Tringali was staying stable around 4.2 seconds, Vince, but it has since closed up to 3.3. But I just gotta wonder if there's enough time, if Sorlin can suddenly flip a switch and start catching us. Even though Shelton has gotten back by Flickinger, it has just turned into a race for second at this point. Down another 10th that lap by.
I wouldn't be surprised if Oskin's underneath Zorlin soon, too. He's starting to close up. We'll find out in this last shot.
Flickinger going to go back to the inside of Shelton for second, and this is just great, big news to Tringali. Vince, you know, we've mentioned it a couple races this year where Tringali has had a shot to win, has not won since 2019, where he won 3 races and made the final 4 in the playoffs. That's the only year he's won in his career, and I mentioned it to you. It's the 6th season in the Cup Series, and those 3 wins came in the 3rd year of competition for Tringali. He's been here since the start. With that trend in mind, the trend would be that he wins 3 more races this year in the 6th season of competition. We've got 11 laps to go to see if he can get win number 1 of the year here and break that winless streak.
There's the move. Oskin, dude, is... Oh, we got a problem? Where's the O2?
Where did the O2 go? Indeed. And it is showing that Shelton has pit. Seth Cole has pit. Nate Rogers has pit. We've got drivers with fueling issues. Rowe is down pit road.
Oh, my goodness.
Charles Sanford's going to bring it in. Unbelievable. They have not even gone 30 laps, Vince. Unbelievable. It is Meadowlands or Auto Club from last year all over again.
Can't believe this.
This is going to spice things up. Now that makes me wonder if Tringali can even make it.
Man, does Kev Shear play this right? I mean, he's the longest. He stayed out the longest. I mean, it'd be a stretch, but you got to think of it like that. That why Zorlin wasn't... And I told you he wasn't really going hard. Maybe that's the reason.
If Tringali can pull this off, though, he would be the 15th driver to get the 4 career wins in Cup Series history. Now this is getting really dangerous. Now you've got guys out here with 4 fresh tires, almost 30 laps newer, Vince.
This isn't good. I think he's about to experience that right now.
It's a 1.7 second gap back to Zach Flickinger in second. And Zach Flickinger's got William Brock on his bumper.
And
Samet Oskin has jumped up to 3rd over Jonathan Zorlin. Kev Shearer is still way back here in 5th place. Onjak has jumped up to 8th. Turner 9th. Keith Rich 10th. See Tringali going high. And the caution has come out.
Oh, I think it was the 9-3. They might have made contact. Steven Rogers, I think, off the exit of 2.
That leaves us with 22 drivers on the lead lap. Oh, yeah, there's smoke all the way down the back straightaway. Yep, I see the 9 with door damage. He was involved in an incident here last year, I believe.
Yep.
You said it was the 3, the other driver, you said? Yep, there's the right side door damage. Yep. So it looks like that spun somebody out down the back straightaway. And the top 3 are going to pit. Sorlin is going to stay out.
Oh.
Shearer will stay out. Onjak. And more. Now, who is the lucky dog here? It will be the 06 of Henry Sanford. And these drivers pitting are taking tires, Vince.
Ooh,
it's going to get
good.
It's going to get a little nutty. There's right sides up. Does he take lefts? Remember, too, it's a single file restart due to being under 10 to go. Right side's only for the 7.
7 will be out first. Oh, we got a contact. Dylan Young into somebody.
A lot of people stayed out, though. Let's see. We got Baranowskis, Colt Hudson, Amanda Evans. A lot of lap cars in between those drivers. Peter Onjak is third, Kev Shearer is second, and Sorlin is the leader. Let's go take a look at the caution, what caused the caution, and we'll have a restart. Taking a look at what brought out the second caution of the race, and you see Deaver had stayed out here, and Nate had already pit and just coming up flying on the outside. And Deaver's just not going to hear that he's coming. The spotter's just not relaying this information. Deaver going to come right up the track. Into the wall goes the 9. And that spins them both out. They were both lucky. Nobody else hits them here. But this is going to make for quite the interesting restart, especially with drivers going down pit road. Well, look at that. Deaver almost spun out again. And then Nate down to the apron there. But things are about to get crazy. Let's get you guys to the race restart. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's about to get a little wild. Sorlin leads it. He's got one lap car in between him and Kev Shearer. Then you got another lap car in between Shearer and Onjak. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars between Onjak to Amanda Evans. Colt Hudson is 5th. Baranowska 6th. They were the only 6 to stay out. Tringali, the first of those that pit, that took right side tires. Everybody that pit took right side tires. So from Tringali on back, you got him, Zach Flickinger, Oskin, Dylan Young, and others. But they are behind a lot of cars with older tires, Vince. It is going to get insane. 4 laps to go. Caution or checkers will end this race.
Tringali, that's going to be the I don't think he's going to do it.
Sorlin with a good jump. They are side by side back there. That is a roadblock. Seth Cole to the inside of Sorlin. Kev Shearer's right there, but now he's got rain to his inside.
Oh, he's pitting. Oh, no, I thought he was pitting.
Oh, my goodness, Vince. Sorlin with the lead still, but Kev Shearer's right there. Look at Peter Onjak. 3 to go.
Where's Tringali? I don't think he's making inroads.
Tringali 2 seconds back. Here comes Rowe. Here comes Charles Sanford. Where's the 7? Oh, he's stuck. Sorlin will lose the lead to Kev Shearer. Onjak will go by. Rowe is all over his quarter panel.
I think it's Kev Shearer bye-bye. I just don't think anyone's got the time.
2 laps to go. We're still green. Onjak's going to get put to the top here.
Hey, look at this.
Oh, look at Kev. Oh, buddy.
Peter's going to have a run here. He's going to have a big run, but I think he's going to stall out. He needs another one of those fast guys to start messing with him.
There's Tringali, but he's got to put a move on Amanda Evans here, but I think it's just too little too late. It is a logjam back here. White flag in the air. Kev Shearer pulling away. He got that win at Pukekohe last year, Vince. Put him in the playoffs. We're not doing playoffs this year, but a win in a wacky race like this would be huge.
Not over yet.
And Kev is another one of those drivers with just 2 career wins. Through turns 3 and 4. Does Onjak have anything? No. Nate to his inside. It'll be Kev Shearer for Starcom Racing getting the win here at Texas as they're wrecking behind them. And it's a huge wreck.
Oh, that's the big one. Oh, we got more wrecks.
Fitzwater's in it. Oskin's in it.
Oh,
Oh, my goodness gracious. Big wreck at the end of this race.
Still wrecking. Oh, Jesus. There you go.
They wrecked it across the line there. Oh, McIntyre with a destroyed race car. Fitzwater rebounded to 9th, Vince. My goodness gracious.
Roy Ribbleton out of nowhere. Vince Fried was dead last all day. Ferranti.
Kugalon started down in the dumps. He gets 5th. Looks like Vargas has spun out, and we've got more shenanigans. Tringali, it was just not meant to be for him again, Vince. Oh my gosh. what a finish to this Texas race. I tell you, we either go caution free, or we have a late race yellow and things get crazy.
That's Texas, man. It's either star shooters or we're eating some chili. But anyway,
Look at this
Kev Shear, man.
Christian Vargas with a 10th place finish. But I mean, staying out worked in Kev Shear's favor from the get-go of the first run. It just all worked out for him in the end. And he had that little extra something in the setup over Peter Onjak to get him his first intermediate win. Kev's first win coming at Pensacola in 2019. Got that first road course win last year. And now a win on a speedway, an intermediate win. Third career win for Kev Shear. And that just leaves a short track on the list of a type of track to win at for the driver of the 00. But Peter Onjak, man, he has been having quite the year. Second place result here on this strategy. Sorlin, I'm surprised, was not able to hold off Kev at all. He comes home third. Quinton Moore fourth. Kukulon fifth. Amanda Evans, Nico Tringali, Keith Rich, Fitzwater, and Vargas. And, Tringali and those other guys, Vince, they just got stuck behind all those lap cars or whoever were on super old tires there. They were side by side in front of them, just nowhere to go. But, I mean, Fitzwater restarted, I want to say, 20, like somewhere back there, and he made those fresh tires get him through the field, and he rebounds big with a 9th place result after, I'm guessing, some kind of pit road incident there on that second round. The green flag stops. But,
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm just trying to see, man. Just a weird running order. Just look at this running order. Alexander Rowe, Sanford. Wacky race, but I guess Kev Shear, like you said, he had the right strategy, and sometimes lady luck is in your favor for sure, and he did the job today.
Well, we're going to take a look at that accident coming to the checkered flag because that looked like a doozy. All right, stick with us, ladies and gentlemen. This one takes a little while to build to get the full picture. Ribbleton sitting here in 10th place. And he just inches up a little bit, and Vargas is just going to get into him here. They're all just stacking up accordion. All these drivers with fresher tires behind drivers with older tires, and this is where the contact is made between the 43 and the 42. Ribbleton trying to keep his foot in it. It's the last lap after all, and you're a rookie in the Cup Series going for a top 10. Gets up into Andrew Rich, who was a lap down here at the end of this thing. And then he's going to come back down into Vargas. We know Vargas went on to finish 10th.
Hold the apron there, and they're nearly into the pit lane.
Ribbleton,
into that cone?
Oh, he just took out the cone there. Yep, but by cone. But Ribbleton comes back up. Actually, this was a race for 9th because Fitzwater took 9th. You see Vargas check up and everything. And then Fitzwater gets clipped into McIntyre. They are sideways across the line. And Vargas just got 10th there. And then it was on from here. You see Cole Deaver and Adam Flickinger going down the track. Oskin's piling in. Diego Yepes is in it.
Stanford.
Colt Hudson. I mean, everybody was just foot to the floor here at the start-finish line. It was just a melee. Yeah, that was quite the chaotic end. I believe we'll have a few onboards here. On board the back bumper of Andrew Rich. See Rich gonna go on to finish. I believe it was 33rd a lap down as the field wrecks it up behind him. Fitzwater was 13th at the white flag, and he would finish 9th after being involved in this incident. Oh, and if he didn't hit the brakes there, he would have missed it too.
He's in for a pinball machine right here.
Still getting hit. Gonna get hit again. Yep, towing up race car with a 9th place result. Final onboard is with the driver of the 22, Samantha Austin. barely gets clipped into this thing. Clobbers Fitzwater. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for us here this week at Texas. We're into the month of May next week. Now, the standalone event. As we head back to the East Coast, we've got a bit of an East Coast swing going on. We're going to head our way down the East Coast to Florida for the All-Star Weekend. So this is the way the schedule looks. We start in Pennsylvania at Pocono, head down to Virginia for Richmond and Martinsville, head over to Tennessee for a paved race at Bristol. No dirt until the end of the year. Then we head down to North Carolina for the Rock, aka Rockingham Speedway, down to South Carolina for Darlington, and then into Florida Homestead to the All-Star Race weekend at Pensacola, and then the Points Payne weekend at Pensacola, and then the International Tour will begin after an off week. So that is what's to come for the Cup Series, but on the on the distant horizon, as I am tired, it is 8:45 at night, long day at work. Pocono, always a good race, usually a strategy race more than a fight it out race, kind of like Texas, I guess, Vince. And yeah, that is where we will be next. So I got nothing else left to say. I'll see you guys next time.
Sign off.